Okay, let me start all over, okay? You guys doing all right? Yeah. You think I'm funny? You think anybody like watching this?
I think so.
You think?
Yeah.
I hope so.
A successful high school quarterback in the 1950s, Bob Boylston went on to play in one of college football's most storied programs, but he never dreamed of going pro.
NFL, we didn't even know what the NFL was back in 1960. I lived in Alabama, man. We didn't know nothing about the NFL Southeastern Conference. That's where they really play football, buddy. Barely got a scholarship to Alabama. I wanted to go to Georgia Tech, but I went to Alabama, and I ended up playing tackle. I did pretty good. I was captain of the team my senior year. I was kind of proud of that.
Boylston's football talents eventually led him to officiating.
I was lucky because they favored you a little bit in the SEC if you'd played football. And some guy was in the SEC, and he said, well, what position did you play in college? I said, well, I played tackle. He said, well, if you played tackle, you should be an umpire because that's what you look at the line play. And luckily, he put me at the right position, and I bought into that right away. I wasn't one of these fancy prima donna referees we had back then and even got now, like some of our guys in the NFL, even though I like them.
After 12 years in the Southeastern Conference, Boylston moved up to the NFL, where he was part of some classic matchups.
One of the best games I was in was a championship game. It was a catch game. The Dallas Cowboys playing San Francisco. That was a great game.
First and goal, Davis, touchdown!
Now, Dean Luck became the most famous referee in that game because he was there signaling touchdown on it, all puckered up.
And on third down and 3, he rolls right man. He throws into the end zone. Touchdown!
People forget that catch did win it for him, but Dallas came back and they almost scored, and they fumbled the ball, and I had to rule on the fumble.
Fumble, and the ball belongs to San Francisco. And they're going to the Super Bowl.
Throughout his career, Boylston proved he could always make the call, no matter how big the game or how great the player.
I had an interesting play with Lawrence Taylor, and the first Super Bowl I had, it was Denver and the Giants, and somebody ran over the sideline. Harry Carson hit the guy late, and Jim Poole saw it through his flag. Well, for some reason, Lawrence Taylor picked the flag up and threw it. I penalized him for that. That kind of put the Giants in a hole, but they ended up winning the game.
Boylston learned the hard way that being an umpire in the NFL has its ups and downs.
Getting knocked over as an umpire, yeah, I can tell you a lot about that. Because I didn't get knocked over much till I got to be an old broken down piece of crap. I had bad knees and I wasn't moving very good and I didn't want to quit. And I'd get knocked down at least once a game, sometimes 2 times a game. And I kept getting up. And I got up one too many times. I was in the nicest place you'd ever want to be. They're very sympathetic with me. I was in Oakland, California, and they were playing Cincinnati in 1998. Cincinnati was terrible, and here comes this little guy, Napoleon Kaufman.
One of the hazards of being an NFL official, watch Napoleon's helmet and watch Bob's face catch his helmet right on the left side of his jaw, bang, right there, and he is hurt bad.
He runs over me, my hip gets broken, and I'm down. And I was laying there, and I was down on, oh man, I'm hurting. And I can't go no more. You know, the worst thing as an official is getting carried off on the gurney. I mean, that's just awful. Well, they put me on the gurney, and I was glad to get in it. Here they take me off the field toward the stands. Now, I'm in Oakland, you know, real nice fans, really loved officials, and I'm hurting pretty good, and I hear somebody, and when we get up near the stands going over toward the dressing room, And somebody say, "Hey, Bob, Bob." And I didn't look up. I was still hurt. And then he hollered again. Well, then I looked up, and I'm pretty close to this, apparently an Oakland fan. He had this black stuff paint all over his face, and he had this beer in his hand, and he threw it on me and said, "I hope you die." Well, that didn't go over too good. I didn't think it was funny at the time, but I couldn't do anything about it. And that was my last game I officiated.
A loss for umpires was a gain for replay, as Boylston moved to the replay booth and was again part of NFL history in the 1999 wild card game between Buffalo and Tennessee.
For the game. He got it.
That was the game of the Music City Miracle that I really think helped make replay what it is. The game was virtually over. All they had to do was kick off and maybe run one play.
He gives it to Wycheck. Wycheck, that looked like a forward pass.
Lo and behold, this guy comes up and throws it across. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He just went on down and scored the touchdown, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do now? Luckily, I stopped the play and reviewed it. Don't forget, we were just getting started then. We didn't know what we were doing. That's 1999, first year of replay. And back in those days, indisputable evidence, it was in effect then, but nobody knew what indisputable evidence was.
From that angle, that looks like it's a lateral. It's a lateral.
Phil Luckett was the referee. Phil called this play, and I agreed with him that it wasn't enough to change. And the play stood, and there was some controversy about it. I thought that was a big play for it, not just because I was involved, but it gave replay credibility. Plus, I was a replay guy, and I made it go to another level.
With the support of his loving wife, Wanda, Bob Boylston became one of the game's best officials and helped create the NFL Referees Association, as well as some lasting friendships.
In my opinion, being an NFL official is one of the classiest things you can do because it's about integrity. I mean, they have more integrity than any other group of people that I know. That could be preachers, that could be lawyers, excuse me. As corny as it sounds, I'm gonna miss the guys the most. Not the games, but being part of a crew. My best friends are really basically come from officiating. If I had worked as hard at my job being a stockbroker, if I did officiating, I'd be making a lot of money. I would have made a lot of money. Was that enough bullshit?
That's plenty of bullshit.
You got enough?
Yeah, I got plenty.
Did I talk as good as Gerald Austin?
Maybe better.
Maybe better. You know, hell, Gerald, I beat Gerald's butt.